and welcome back to the post show, episode number 7 already. This week we talk about Vinland Saga. Grant just started that. I give a spoiler-free review of Castlevanyia Season 4. We talk about Demon Souls the game and Jujutsu Kaisen up to episode 13, since we're both there now. There's some brief Demon Slayer news. We talk about the Eternals trailer and Disney movie remakes. Hope you guys enjoy. Cheers. Oh, hey Grant.
Hey, Dave.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. It's the end of the night.
What you on about, mate?
I'm gonna crack a window open. That's what I'm gonna do right now.
You deserve it.
Oh, that's a breeze. I'll take that.
Is it a breeze?
A little bit.
It's like 27 degrees where I am right now. It's not a friendly breeze.
No. Well, it's better than a stifling hot bedroom. So I'll take it. I'll take a window open. Dave, I gotta start hot on this one because
Hit me up.
I sent you a text this weekend.
You did.
I watched something based on your recommendation.
Oh. I love it when people, doesn't that ever like perk up your ears? You're like, oh, yeah. I took your advice. You're like, oh, now I'm really listening.
Yeah.
I was kind of feigning interest at the beginning. I was like, oh, here we go. Grant's excited again. No, I'm kidding. Hit me up. What is it?
Dave, I'm actually like just slightly. I don't feel like you undersold me on this show.
Oh fuck! I know what it is. I gotta guess.
But I feel like you definitely could have been like, Grant, this is like in like 100% in your wheelhouse, and that was.
I forgot about the OP. Go ahead.
Vinland Saga.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Holy fuck! Leanne and I ripped through like 10 episodes. Like,
really?
In like a night, and because that was it. We had wrapped up Superstore, which was good. Well, we haven't seen we watched what was on Netflix.
Yeah.
I'm capped out on Jujutsu Kaisen, which, well, at that point I was, but I was like, what's the next show? And I was like, we got To Your Eternity, we got Tokyo Revengers, and we got Vinland Saga. And it was
Vinland is the right choice with those three. Like,
honestly,
to binge,
total chance. Leanna's like, I kind of gave them each like like a quick little what I know of, and she's like, they all sound great. Pick a number. Let's just go with it. And
she's watching a lot of anime with you, huh?
Oh, honestly, Dave, she should be like co-hosting this podcast. All some weeks she's in it, man. Like, she loves it.
I know she was always into the Star Wars ones,
yep.
Obviously. Has a lot of the recent interest been as a result of the podcast, or is that not related and just a coincidence?
No, I think.
Or was she always like just in anime and I didn't know it?
Well, no, she was. I think she was in a similar situation to us, where, a lot of the cartoons we watched growing up were just anime dub reruns.
Right.
And we, at that age, we didn't know or didn't think anything of it. Like, in Canada, it was actually quite hard to see like American cartoons. It was a lot of Canadian-made content on YTV or Teletoon, or it was just late-night reruns of anime. And so she's the same age as us, obviously. So like she's always seen like the Pokemons and the Digimons and Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, she's probably seen, I would imagine, without even realizing, she's seen some Gundam on the off time or whatever. Mm-hmm. And and it just started with Attack on Titan, and she was like, oh, this is like good. And then it just went from there of like, well, what else do we have? And she's been watching My Hero with me, and she's been watching Jujutsu Kaisen, and we watched Yusuke, and it's now just become like, all right, what's that next show we're watching? And we've landed on Vinland Saga. And Dave, we're going to come back to the OP because like it's tremendous. Like, you should have just said, Grant, like the OP alone is like, it's amazing. I do not skip it. It's a never skip.
Well, I'm like a big I should do that more, but I've always been a big skipper. Like, unless it really grabs me on that first listen.
Sure.
I usually jam it the first time, and then I kind of let it be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I completely forgot that it had a fucking banger.
Oh my god, so heavy, so technical, and just like I went on Spotify and I checked out all their stuff. So I've been listening to Survive Said the Prophet is the band that does the song. Mm-hmm. So I've been listening to them a lot. But Dave, Vinland Saga, this is what Yusuke should have been.
Ooh.
This is a, is like a semi-historical is not right. Like it is historical. Like it's still a manga. It still is what it is. There's heightened moments and there's like obtusely large and extravagant characters and all that. Like that, but that's just anime. That's you know that comes with the territory. But this is what I was not that Yusuke had to have been that, but I think that was what I was expecting. So I was a little disappointed with that. But this show, Dave, hyper violent, and it's hard not to watch it and be like, what could have been Wit Studios season 4 of Attack on Titan?
Yeah.
You know? Like we're watching it.
Who did Vinland Saga?
Wit Studio.
It was Wit, eh?
Yeah. And we were watching it, and I think at one point Leanna was like, whoa. And I was like, yeah. I was like, this is what Attack on Titan used to be like. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, it looked like this. Like, you know.
Did Leanna never see seasons 1 through 3?
No, dude, she's only watched season 4.
Yeah, if she ever decides to go back and watch 1 through 3, that's just gonna blow her head off.
Absolutely, like it was beautiful, and like, you know, like this is, I'm not here to rehash the season 4 conversation you and I had for, you know, the whole season each week, but you know, like it's never, it's not bad. There's moments that were a little grody and all that, but like we understand, Mappa seems to have it like an overtly large appetite, and I think that is the problem of what, kind of one of the detracting factors of the season. But you know, the show is just beautiful, Dave. Like it
is. It's really well done,
and it's so funny too to see them use CG, because Wit, you know, in the previous season, the Wit, you know, there's a lot of the like the ODM gear scenes was in CG and whatnot, and just their use of it is so natural, and it fits into the world.
Use it. On that Corridor Crew video, did you watch the Corridor Crew?
I watched the. I didn't watch the. There's one where he kind of makes like, or they make real life size or scaled Titans. I didn't see that. I watched the one that you recommended though.
But the one where they review AOT, yeah.
Yeah.
They did a really good job with that, and they kind of show like where they decide to use CG is very key.
Yes.
And as opposed to just kind of using CG because you're just frankly out of time.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, yeah. So you're about 10 episodes deep into Vinland Saga.
Yeah. We.
Spoiler warning.
So yeah. Spoilers for anyone.
But what's happening?
And this is now going to be one of my most recommended shows. This shot up my list, and we love this. It's incredible. Not just because of the OP, because it's in my favorite genre of music, but it's the whole package is tremendous. The last thing we saw was the Battle of London Bridge. And Thorfinn just narrowly gets away from what's his dad's buddy's name there?
Torkel.
Yeah, Torkel. So that was the thing. Like
great character.
We went this whole so far. I say this whole season. We went through these episodes, and so there's the whole plot where, major spoilers. Thorfinn's father, Thors, is killed.
You see that coming?
So the problem was, like, again, I'm not throwing shade, but I knew the season was kind of like it's a prelude. Like there's like we're not looking at the current or where the current timeline technically should be. So I kind of have that in the back of my head, and I know it's clearly marketed as a revenge story. So I knew his dad was probably going to die.
Something was going to happen to set off the boy. Yeah.
So that first episode, I must have looked and missed away, because there's that opening scene of Thor's. There's this big battle. It's like 15 years prior. Yeah. The guy that he was fighting with, which ends up being or was Thor. Is it Torkel?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was him. I thought it was this Floki guy, who is the one who sets up his father. So when he comes back, I'm like, oh, his buddy found him, and I didn't expect his buddy to kind of throw him under the bridge like that. Like, there's obviously something else going on there. There's a story that we're going to soon discover. But we're going like, wow, his buddy really had a fucking a 15-year revenge. Like, he really wanted him. And then Leanna's like, no, I don't think that's him. And I'm like, nah, I think it's him. I think that's the guy. It's a. And then we get to this battle of the bridge, and Leanna's like, yeah, that's the guy. And I'm like, okay, I got to pull up an episode 1 synopsis. And I'm like, oh, you're 100% right. It was him. But that was an awesome. That was a really cool fight. Just like the Thorfinn and Torkel fight.
Yeah, they all of these characters, without giving anything away, Torkel, they interact in fun and surprising ways. Torkel's a really great character. that we end up seeing later. He's really fun. Thorfinn, as you could tell, so much of the show is just about his growth.
Yeah.
And the way he changes, and the way Askeladd is around for that in many ways.
I really like that dynamic too. Just the whole like he's constantly trying to prove himself to get that next duel. Like it's like, you know, I know it's not an original
idea for a show.
Yeah, like, and this is another one where I'm actually curious to read the manga after I finish the show.
Ooh.
It's just something about it. Like, it's, you know, it's like, again, it's heightened, but it's incredibly grounded at the same time. Like, it's, you know, it's kind of refreshing not having the high fantasy elements. Like, you know, like we're obviously going to lead into Jujutsu Kaisen soon enough, but like, you know, that is the things I love about Jujutsu Kaisen is them doing that. When that's done right, it's fucking on. When it's done wrong, it's dreadful a lot of the time.
Oh yeah, big time.
And it's kind of nice just to have a show with the same dedication to art or art style and you know, and technicality and all that, and just to not have those elements. It's just like, you know, it's like, oh, like I can just enjoy this. If there's one thing I think it's just because it's on Amazon Prime that we're watching it. There's the subtitles end up blocking, because the show will make a statement of like, it's this year, like it's in Japanese. It'll say this year, this place, da da da. But then Amazon, like the subtitles will cover what they say in English, and they end up blocking each other out. So it's like I miss like, okay, well, what battle is this? Like, what year is this? Like, there was a point where we had no idea how old Thorfinn was, or how much time had gone between, you know, this certain instance to that instance. So there's a couple little weird things, but that's not the show's fault. That's just the sub, I guess, or Amazon sub. But Dave, honestly, thank you. Incredible recommendation. We're absolutely loving it. That's a point on the board, my friend. Like,
let me know when you when you reach like big plot points, and like what you know, just keep me posted, you know, both on this show and outside of it, of like your progress, because I'm curious for a few fun moments reaction to them. But yeah, Vinland Saga, if you guys haven't checked it out, check that shit out.
Yeah, seriously, if you like historical, and Joe, I know you're listening, do it, bud. You have to watch Vinland Saga. It's so up your alley.
I finished Castlevanyia Season 4.
Okay, yeah. What thoughts?
So yeah, I really like it. They really, really went for it, and I gotta say I'm kind of surprised. Like, I just, you know, it is not perfect, and we've talked about how endings are really important. You know what I mean? And if you don't stick the landing, you really risk fucking it up. You know what I mean? You could fuck up everything that you've done before this. So, you know, my big thing was like, I thought that they finished on such a strong arc back at the end of Season 2 of Castlevania that when they came back for Season 3, and it was kind of a weak season in my opinion, I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And then they came back for Season 4, and it was like marketed as like the final season. I was like, okay, well, what are we going to do here? And the long story short is that like Season 3 was kind of a necessary step that they had to take in order to position the pieces they needed for Season 4. And Season 4, I really hope I see like some breakdowns from like either Corridor crew or like anybody in the industry, or if anybody's listening and you know something that we don't about this, I would love to hear about, you know, what they did to step up animation. Did they simply just bump the average amount of drawings per episode? Is it the same studio? Did they simply just get better at it? Because there is a marked difference in the animation quality basically throughout the entirety of Season 4. It is significantly better than Seasons 2 and 3 as far as animation goes. They really played like kind of Gardner with some plot lines. Like, they really slow burned you on some of them in Season 3. They really sprung up and did well and paid dividends in Season 4. And I'm happy with the ending.
Oh, that's
good. I've got like nitpicks, like,
yeah,
you know, like Season 3 is like most of them, and then like in this one it's like they kind of sort of gave away something big in an early episode that I don't think they needed to. And then a little bit of stuff at the ending felt a little rushed, but you know, nothing is perfect. But like the story is really about these three characters and how they do both together and alone. And I felt that the show did a good job giving these three people, potentially four, depending on how you look at it, a good ending. You know what I mean? and like I was good with all of it. So yeah, man.
So by the end of it, like I know they had more or less made it clear that this is the final season, but is there even, because I've been hearing a lot of good things about it, obviously from you and just things I've read online, is the door, because it's a big series, like it's not like landlocked to like an anime or a manga, right? Like it's a video game series and all that. Is the door still open, do you think, for more?
I think I'd say they left the door open a little bit. Like at the end of seasons 2 and 3, I'd say that the endings were decent, but they left several doors open. It was like, if we want to come back, we can pick up in these 2 or 3 spots. But you almost didn't need to, especially at the end of season 2.
Sure.
But there's really only one way this can go if they decide to come back.
Okay.
I definitely do not think it's necessary. I think the ending they gave is like resolute and, satisfying.
Sure.
But yeah, if people are clamoring for a season 5 and they think that they can do a good job, I suppose they could do something. Like, like I said, there's kind of only one way it could go, I would guess. But but yeah, it seems like the door's slightly ajar.
Well, that's good. And that's also on the list too, because I know it's like a quick little ride. Sorry, how many episodes is the 3rd and 4th season?
I think they might be 10 apiece.
Oh, okay.
But I think that the advertisement for the show is really season 1, which is 3 episodes.
Yeah.
That is kind of the required reading part.
Sure.
Like, it's not absolute brilliance. That's the thing, is that like I remember watching it and being like, this is okay. And then when I reached the end of season 1, which is, like I said, 3 episodes or something, I was like, oh, okay, they've got me. Let's binge this thing. And that's when I realized, wait a minute, that's it?
Yeah.
Like, you could tell, like, they were just trying to figure it out. And then they came back with a full season arc of, like, 8 episodes for season 2. And that's, like, this really... I don't want to oversell it. I'm not talking, like, 10 out of 10. But that's, like, a rewarding arc for the show. And it really gives you, like, the characteristics of, like, what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
It is not, like, fucking... mind-blowing. I'm not saying it like rivals some of the best ever, but like it's a quick rip. I would recommend it to anyone out there. And it's among the higher tier of like Western complete English first anime. I'd say it's up there.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing about it, and like I'm gonna watch it. I know that much, but it's it's funny because like it is based on a video game property, and video game properties and animation not so much, but kind of like a movie format or TV show format, they don't have the greatest track record. And I think people are starting to become aware that like anime, like Eastern style animation might be the way to go to properly tell these stories. And I think the lasting legacy of the show, even with not even watching it, just hearing it from you and other people and whatnot, like is this is a good step forward for some video game franchises to kind of continue telling their stories without having to spend hundreds of millions of dollars into a game that it's a hard business, right? Like you really gotta. That's why I think everything's monetized, right? So it's I don't know. It's cool. Like I think it's been canceled now, but there was rumors of like a Legend of Zelda series coming to Netflix.
I heard about that too. Yeah.
And that got nixed too because apparently like they were super. I think Nintendo was super just not happy with a lot of information getting out earlier than they wanted to. I think they're about control of their properties and whatnot. But,
no doubt. That makes
but
sense.
But it's well, especially them too. Like it's they're. As anyway, that's Nintendo for you. But no, it's seeing Castlevania do this well and have this good word of mouth kind of makes me excited for other stuff. Like obviously, like within the same breath, like there's that Dragon's Dogma anime.
That's a
came out
video
this
game
year
as well, right?
It is, yeah. I think it's a Capcom series, and it is. It was dog shit from what I've heard.
Yeah, I didn't even. I tried the pilot. I couldn't even get through that, and then I tried to like psych myself up. I was like, oh, maybe it just didn't hit right.
Yeah.
So I read some reviews. Jesus. Yeah, they had a rough go.
Yeah, it's but like I said, Castlevania is a success story, and thankfully that will get us some more stuff down the road. I love video game stuff. There's so many good worlds out there and story, and actually I think would be a good segue into the next thing that I want to talk about is I beat Demon Souls, Dave.
Oh damn!
By myself. No assistance. At least not on my original playthrough. Like, I'm actually doing a co-op run with Josh now. But it's my, I've never been good at these games. They are not my speed. It's, you can't really pause, and you can't.
What genre would you say Demon Souls is? What do they call those games?
So it is the inception of this genre. They call them Soulsborne.
It's like Bloodborne.
Bloodborne, which is also tight. I've only played Bloodborne and Demon Souls. I haven't played any of the Dark Souls games.
Oh right, yeah, the fucking Dark Souls games. Those are giant, right? They're all giant.
Yeah, Demon Souls was the original one. It was on PlayStation 3. So the one I'm playing now, it's the PS5 remake. It was, I knew it was coming out. It was one of those things. It was prior to me having a PlayStation. I only got a PlayStation or a PS5 this year. I think it was a launch title back in November when everything came out.
I remember seeing lots of press about it.
Yeah, it's absolutely stunning. It's one of the best looking games I've ever played. It's like I'm big into Dungeons and Dragons, so Demon Souls was kind of more in my lane because it's a little, it's high fantasy. It's kind of, medieval dragons, and there's horror elements too. But I feel like Dark Souls is kind of similar, but it's different from what I can tell. It's hard to really get into, like the minutia of the difference between the series, but. It's just like an unforgiving. It's all about.
I was gonna say they're all very punishing games, right? Like mechanic heavy. They're not exactly like your just sort of hack and slash, hold down the right trigger, walk through it kind of game.
Exactly. You got to watch timings. You need to learn enemy patterns, and you got to. But the thing is, there's so much. The thing I love about it is there's so much. Opportunity to play the way you want to play, obviously within the limits of what the game presents to you. So, there's it's like any RPG. There's stats, and you can put into strength, or if you want to put them into faith or magic, or any of these things. Like if you want to play a wizard, it's viable to play like a wizard type character. Or if you want to be like like a sword and board, you just want to use a shield and sword and kind of block your way through stuff. Or there's opportunity to play at your own comfort level, which is. A thing I didn't realize for years, and I stayed away from these games because, I get a game, I play it on easy, and I just enjoy myself. Like, I'm not, it's a hobby. I'm not trying to be stressed out. People that do that, by all means, power to you. But anyways, I was just, it was just kind of a bit of an achievement for myself to get through this game on my own and play through, and it's just a technical marvel, like what they can do now on games. Like this system, the PS4 was something else, towards the end of the generation. Even the beginning, gaming is not what it was like even 10 years ago. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And this game, it was my first real taste of like a new AAA next gen title.
Right.
And, it's the shit, man. Like it's,
on next gen / like current gen consoles now. Seems to
I guess, yeah.
Even games, absolutely. Even when I do play games, well, I'm realizing as I say this out loud that it sounds old, but like when I do play games, they're games I already know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not out there buying.
We're probably going to start our 40th Diablo 3 run probably soon.
Yeah.
Like it's.
And then what I'm most excited for is the Diablo 2 re-release. You know what I
mean?
Like,
yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely not out there buying the new AAA titles, but yeah. The next gen, current gen games.
It's crazy, Dave. Like and the thing I like about it is it doesn't hold your hand. It gives you not even the bare minimum. It almost leaves you kind of stranded at first. And I think the thing, because it's a remake of a game, people are familiar with how the previous one was, so they know where the things are. But like me coming to it for the first time. Trying very, very hard not to look online. Like there was points where I was just like, I'm actually lost, or I don't, I don't know how to naturally get to where I need to go. But there's so many hidden, like items and stuff like that. But like mechanics in the game that aren't obvious, like, the upgrade systems, and, depending on the type of materials you have, it's almost like each weapon has its own tree. If you want to,
Right.
Just say you have a spear, if you want to make it more mana focused and regeneration, you can upgrade it with this type of stone. Or if you want to make it just like a standard attack, use this kind of stuff. Like it's not obvious.
Yeah, it'd be tempting to look up.
And
especially when the game isn't embedded with tutorials all over the place.
Yes, and it's kind of refreshing. And I know like the famous phrase online is like, it's like get good, and and I'm kind of proud because I obviously I did get good, and I was able to beat the game, which was very challenging at points. There was a stretch I didn't play for like a month and a half just because I was like, fuck this boss. I got no interest in banging my head on the floor against you anymore. For anyone, it was Maneater. Fuck that guy. Fuck those guys. I just, to wrap it up, just really fun experience. I'm actually making the effort to go for the platinum trophy on it. I'm gonna, and it's Demon Souls. If I know it's hard to get a PS5, but if anyone listening has one, if you're nervous and you're willing to, give it a little bit of patience and learn with the game, I highly recommend it. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's
Demon Souls. Check it out.
Demon Souls. Check it out, everyone.
The only gameplay I've seen of that is like people on Twitch occasionally. It looks, like I said, very punishing, but very fun, very beautiful, very slick.
Mm-hmm.
Where you at on Jujutsu Kaisen?
Ooh, I'm in love with it.
What episode?
13.
I just wrapped 13.
Oh, did you really? Okay. Or wait, it's 13. Let me double check. I got it right in front of me. Yes, 13 is where I finished. How about that fight? Yeah,
so
I finished 13.
Okay, nice. That's perfect. So, spoiler warnings, anybody. Jujutsu Kaisen up to episode 13. Man,
Dave,
they're doing something right, eh?
They are clicking all the right buttons. This show, Dave, is as I progress each episode, I'm getting slightly more nervous because I know this season is not bad. I know right from beginning to end it's great.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah,
I am worried for like what's to come. Like I genuinely like this show so much. I'm more worried that there's a chance for it to get fucked up than it continue to be good. I know it's a very pessimistic view of it.
No,
but this
I know
show,
exactly what you mean.
This show is very special. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, there's it's crazy. Like, because it's crazy because of like just hype that shows get these days, and like it's so hard for things to meet your expectations or the expectations of all the hype. Like, Attack on Titan is literally like the biggest anime on the planet, and like more than half the time you only hear about people's complaints. You know what I mean? Like us included sometimes. Like it's just it's hard to just kind of fall in love with something like unabashedly and without reservation. Mm-hmm. Because if you look at Jujutsu Kaisen and you showed it to a non-anime fan, like one episode, they might say like, that looked good and fun, but I don't know, like it didn't look like anything special. You know what I mean?
Naruto did it first.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But like, it's things like this, like when you hear about like, oh, this studio's been working on this for 7 years, and like, and then like things ultimately don't hit the mark. Yes, okay. It's just tough, and all I know is that the internet's been up in arms about this fucking show, and we're around halfway through it, and it is just completely crushing so far.
It's so good. They introduced the introduction of Nanami, who, for anyone
is that the professor?
The 7 to 3 guy, which I love. I love that they call him the 7 to 3.
That's what I
sorcerer.
Meant. That's what I meant.
Oh, the professor. Oh, gotcha.
I don't know why professor, but yeah, my bad.
The just his whole like introduction of like I'm lecturing you. You're gonna hear what I have to say when I'm lecturing you and all that, and just like his relationship building, because they did the thing with Itadori, because like he died, and you and I were, I think it was a week or two ago, we were saying thank you for killing him. Like they're slowly building a big emotional moment when everyone reunites. Itadori's
he hasn't met up with his classmates yet at this point.
No,
they still think he's dead.
They think he's dead. They're doing their own little adventures, which I love. I love the introduction of the other classes, and you can see, it's Megumi, right? The black-haired guy, his buddy, or the first guy he met. Mm-hmm. You can see him slowly dealing with the death of Itadori and how it's affecting him, and he's trying. You can slowly see he wants to have Itadori's ideals. Like, he wants to save people now. It's not just about being good at something and just doing it because you can. And it's just some of the most natural character development I've ever seen. And by I don't think I've ever seen this before. By killing a character, not actually killing it, there's the, he has plot armor, obviously, but they're building this relationship from a distance with Megumi, and they're also building this relationship with Nanami as he's kind of like teaching him, because their styles are oddly similar, and Gojo knew that. That's why he hooked them up together. And
Gojo's such a great character too.
Oh my god, you had mentioned there was an episode I'm going to get to about the animation style. It's going to blow me away.
Episode 7, yeah.
Episode 7. It's the dimension. Incredible. That whole fight too, just with the volcano guy. And
They went for it.
This whole show, it feels there is a major animation moment in every single episode, and it's like, good for you guys. Good for you. Attack on Titan suffered for it, but it's okay.
Yeah, man, above all, it just seems like shonen done right. It uses humor when they want to, and they usually nail the humor. Itadori especially is quite funny.
Yeah,
Nagumi's funny. Gojo's hilarious. Just humor's good.
I'm blanking on her name right now too, but the other girl, like the trio, the hammer girl.
Yeah,
she kills me. I love her. There's that throwdown they have in the hallway with the two students from the other school, the Kyoto school.
Yeah.
They're all beefing with each other. It's so funny.
That episode 7 fight was great.
And then also like the showdown in 12 and 13 with I'm blanking on his name, but like
Junpei is the student.
Yes.
That is kind of persuaded.
What a fucked up arc that kid has.
Hey man.
Yeah.
We already told you guys spoiler warnings, so
yeah, big time.
I love that they fucking killed him. I was like, oh yeah, like they better keep him dead, because, and maybe they won't, I don't know, but like that death was so good to have like a short, brief but meaningful arc to the point. It had a point.
Absolutely.
And for what it does to Itadori, right?
Yeah. Just like the scene where the villain, the patchwork guy, I forget his name. There's a lot of, this is another one of the shows. There's a lot of names going around, and like quickly introducing people. But when he like, I guess, transfigures him, like turns him into that monster, it happens so fast, and I was like, whoa, like what? I was like, oh, he's gone. Like I had to pause, because I had to take the moment of like, this Junpei guy is gone. It's over for him. Like, I genuinely believe that.
I love it when a show does that. They're like, we're not gonna let you take a beat. Like, it's so much more ruthless and brutal when you rob characters of things like death speeches, and you rob them of, like, when Armin sacrifices himself in Attack on Titan season 3.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, it takes so long to die that like what's happening long before it happens, right?
Yeah.
And then there are deaths like, spoiler warning, Game of Thrones, like the Red Wedding, where it's just so goddamn fast and so sudden and so ruthless that you're just sort of left with it. And it's like, wait, what?
And that was the thing. They didn't, like, obviously, like, it was body horror, and his body changed before our eyes, and it was kind of visceral, and it was different, but they were able to film, like, obviously, like, you and I, like, I know I'm speaking for you here, but it seems like we're both on the same page. Like, they took what could have been like an over-the-top bloody death, like it's just like anime screaming, and they turned it into a simple, like, he just kind of contorted his body into something different. It was so quick and it was so simple and so powerful that way. Like, I love when a show, it's meaningful. Like, it doesn't have to be blood, it doesn't have to be gore, like it still can be traumatic without that. It's
they've also done a really good job of injecting something new and disturbing with this villain, with the idea that these humans are still somehow alive in a way, shape, or form, and it makes their, quote, death or their transfiguration so much more unpleasant, because you get the feeling that they're stuck in this existence. Like when one of them is weeping, at one point. I was like, oh my god, that's so. You know what I mean? It's so just distasteful and
there's a couple moments where it's like kill me, and it's like, and you see that line. It's used a lot in stuff where where someone's been changed into something they don't want to be, or they're in a bad state like that, and it doesn't always come across as it's hard genuine. It's like a monster or something like that, but like these characters, like these former people, like, or no, they're still people.
Yeah,
they just want to die. It's like what a good villain. Like I will say. Good. They introduced him way too fucking fast.
Yeah.
Way too fast. Like that was a little messy, and the show is not perfect by any means. There's a couple little things like that where I think more time could be dedicated to the villains and kind of setting them up a little more, like just even like a couple minutes in an episode leading into that. I'm
very curious to see where they take him and these it feels like the main thread of the show is going to be this
former student.
Yeah, this former student, his relationship with these curses, and how some of these curses are like cognizant. We did learn a little bit behind the scenes from this villain, the Patchwork Fellow, saying about, he kind of tells Junpei about it, right? He sort of says, he's kind of befriended like mega curses, and that seems to be like the volcano guy and other people, and it's interesting to see where that will go, and that former student, his relationship with them. That seems like what's going to be the ultimate conflict.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very, very excited to see how that goes. I'm sure it goes well because everybody loves the show.
Dave, I'm telling you, if you gotta watch Mob Psycho.
Yeah, eh?
You have to. It's on the spectrum. It's very similar. It's it's curses and it's ESP power. It's espers, and the comedy is more heavy-handed. Like it's very much meant to be a comedy with action and all this. Like this is more direct action, and the comedy is thrown in. It's blended in that way, and where I think Mob Psycho is not quite opposite, but it's different tones for sure. But they're definitely in the same wheelhouse, and Mob Psycho. Yeah, I watch this and I want to rewatch Mob Psycho again. Like
All right.
Yeah.
Mob Psycho. Eventually, we got some stuff to get through.
Oh, we got a lot of stuff.
But on the note of just like good storytelling and when things are done right, I want to briefly say there was news. Was it today? Yesterday? The last couple days? R.I.P. to Kentaro Miura.
Yeah, that was
the author of Berserk, the critically acclaimed, highly influential Berserk. I think we may have even talked about it on the podcast at one point. I can't remember.
I think we were talking about the remake versus
I was actually
the original.
not super kind in my review of the anime.
Yeah.
But this is the author of the manga, and he passed away pretty young, 56, I think.
That's crazy. That's sad.
Yeah, so we're not. I don't know. I won't speak for Grant, but I'm not super plugged in, obviously, into like historical anime and this and that. But I know that he was huge,
influential into what we watch now. So
that's what everybody says, is that he had a very, very heavy hand in kind of shaping the scene of what the modern day animation and manga landscape look like. So R.I.P. If you're listening to this, chances are you've read or have seen Berserk. So. Yeah, I would recommend checking out the manga for that one if anybody hasn't.
I believe the anime from the 90s was quite good.
Yeah, that's the one that really that fucked me up real good. Like, because the story is quite good.
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave it at that.
I think it's kind of a bummer too, because it never got to finish because the manga was like they were too close together. I think it was like a Full Metal situation.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they the studio doing it made some weird choices, but also it was running close to the manga, and I don't know. But yeah, check out the manga. Even the 90s anime is probably worth checking out. But yeah, I saw that. That was some news out there in this universe or in the whole landscape. That was a big thing. And on a lighter note, a full trailer. I don't know how spoilery or not it is, but a full-length trailer for Demon Slayer Season 2 has been released.
What?
Yeah.
When did that come out?
Dude, it came out like 4 days ago. I saw it today. I was like, wait, what?
Oh my god.
But, maybe it's not, like, maybe it's just like a snippet or something. But it looks like 2.5 minutes long. And I was like, I looked at it and I was like, well, I don't want to look at it because we haven't seen the movie yet.
Yeah, you sent me a text, I think it was today or yesterday, of just, I can't believe we still haven't seen this movie. And I was just like, oh my god, we're both so sad over this. Like, I want to see it so bad.
Yeah. They're also, they got a game coming out. Is there a release date on that? Did they say 2021?
I don't know when that is, but it looked pretty slick.
Yeah. What do you call those kinds of games?
I don't know. It seemed like I think it's like an arena brawler.
Yeah. It looks slick. I don't know what else to say.
But it has quite a mouthful of a name. It's like
you can play as basically all of the demon slayers in the show, it looks like, and they added the Flame Hashira. I saw in that most recent trailer, probably coming off the movie, they want to make him a playable character. But yeah, you can make the demon slayers fight each other, and yeah, looks the gameplay stuff looks pretty good. I don't know how to pronounce the studio name. UFO Table. Yeah. They're cashing in on Demon Slayer. Like, they knew when they had a hit, and they're like, all right, season 1 went well. Let's do a movie. Let's do a game. Then we'll do season 2.
Is Demon Slayer like an actively running manga, or is this something from like the 90s? It's just getting adapted now.
I believe it is actively running. I don't know when it started. I don't know if it has since finished, but I am 90% sure that when the show started airing, the manga was in progress. I'd be curious to Google that to see if I, but to do it like carefully, so as to not get spoiled. But I'm curious, how many issues are out, what the pace is like. Like, it's like My Hero Academia, right? Like, at this rate, we're gonna get 10 seasons. If you just sort of, like, same with Attack on Titan, right? Most episodes are 2 issues, but there's hundreds of issues, right?
Yeah.
So, like, at what pace does this kind of work out? I'd be curious, because they've established quite a big world, and you got to wonder, like, are they, how much do you want to explore that versus, character development versus, like, the main thread of the story? Season 1, they seem to get quite a bit done, so I could see it being on the lower end in terms of how many seasons they want to go. I don't know.
I just want the movie. I want more seasons. Like, I was
thinking
about
it. So many good reviews. It's going to be so hard to go in there with realistic expectations.
I don't know. I feel like we'll be able to go in there jacked up, and I think we're gonna come out no matter what, enjoying it. Like, it's we're
approaching the VOD date.
Very.
We're also approaching again the proposed end of lockdown, but I feel like we said that a little while ago and it didn't work out.
Yeah, well, even that, I was looking into it, like, for movie theaters and all that, we're well ways for that. So
are we?
I think it's like end of July.
Jesus.
That's in the last part of that, but I don't think everyone wants to hear about Ontario's fucked up lockdown situation.
Yeah.
Get vaccinated, people. Seriously, be healthy. Be safe.
On an unrelated note, I was gonna make a 5G joke. Never mind.
Oh my god.
On an unrelated note.
You got anything else, buddy?
Eternals trailer. That's it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was not what I expected.
No, not me. Me neither. Maybe they decided to go for a more serious trailer after the director won for Nomadland. That is definitely something Marvel would do.
Yeah.
Or they're taking this very seriously.
I will say, like, I know I need to watch. I've only watched the trailer the one time. I was curious from what I saw, but I'm not sure. Like, I know that, like the early word on the street was this movie is, like, going to be spectacular.
Right.
Again, that's internet chatter from behind the scenes, like, journalists and all that from, like, 4 months ago. So, it's kind of hard to put your finger on the pulse with this kind of thing until it gets closer to the date. But I don't know. I'm skeptical. I saw the trailer, and after visually seeing it, I'm now skeptical.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, eh? Like,
Yeah.
sometimes the less you see, the more hype can build. And then when you get a sizable peek behind the curtain, it's like, wait a minute. Now I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It was like, I've actually never seen it, but a comparison I can think of is the live-action Aladdin remake. I remember people being so hyped on the promotional material and on the casting. And then when the full trailer came out and it showed what Will Smith looked like as the genie, people were like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Or, for God's sake, the poor Sonic movie. With the animated Sonic.
Oh, yeah, they had to...
Yeah, it's fully changed it, yeah.
Him. Like, there's just the Sonic character.
Yeah.
But, Aladdin, that was a weird one. That was, I don't know. What's your take on all the Disney remakes?
I mean, I see it from 2 points of view. I mean, like, my first inclination is that, the originals are near and dear to me, and I was raised on them, and I don't know if it's really necessary to go back and kind of bastardize them. However, I think there's an argument to be made to, we want to modernize them, and maybe some things are out of touch, and we want to adapt those stories again so that new audiences can experience them, and you can show them to your kids. Oh, and also we own the IP, and it's a fucking money machine, right? Like, it's money printer go brrr, and we fucking make more Lion King movies. So, I don't know. I mean, I saw the Lion King remake. It was fine.
That's the one I haven't seen.
If I were to show my kids one of those movies, I'd probably show them the original.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm
not gonna, I think that Lion King movie and the Jungle Book movie are good, but I don't know. What about you?
Well, so there's, in our house, there's an interesting, there's definitely 2 sides to it. I just don't care. I don't care for the remakes. I wasn't actively against them. I wasn't actively looking forward to them. It's funny. I actually do like the Beauty and the Beast one. Like, it's funny because Emma Watson clearly, like, it's auto-tuned and like someone overdubbing certain points. Like, it's clearly obviously her not belting out some of those lines. Like, whatever. Like, I'm sure that's a lot of musicals. But I enjoyed it, and it's funny, Leanna, like, does not like that one.
I've never seen that one. Go figure.
And that's the one, Corinne, that'll be her go-to of the remakes. Corinne won't touch the Lion King, which is the one I wanted to see because there was so much hype around it. And I remember having a conversation.
Stellar.
I remember having a conversation with you. I think you had seen it in theaters, or you had just seen it. I can't remember what the case was.
Drunk in theaters, so that may have been part of my dismay, my unsatisfaction.
And my takeaway from your immediate take was the uncanny valley of the animals talking.
100%, that is a legitimate problem.
And I just have this
problem.
I have this morbid curiosity to see it. I'm sure I will. But I remember liking the Jungle Book. I think, visually it was nice and all that. Same kind of... I don't remember it being so much as an uncanny valley with the animals talking. But I liked Beauty and the Beast. Leanna can't stand it. I think she likes the original. That's her take on that. Or maybe she doesn't like the original. Maybe she just doesn't like Beauty and the Beast. I feel bad for not remembering, but it's late.
Oh, man. For me, it's the original Aladdin is like lightning in a bottle. Robin Williams...
Sure. Yeah.
I remember the conversation at the time when Will Smith got cast was like, the conversation was like, you can't compare him directly because it's not a fair comparison. He's trying to do his own thing.
But I know why they chose him. It made sense. He doesn't have Robin Williams energy, but Will Smith has fucking energy.
Oh, big time. He's big, right?
Yeah.
You need big.
Yeah, and I thought it was a good casting, but it was not. It was weird. And
I didn't see it.
I think actually I remember talking to you and Shane about this when we had seen it. There's one scene in the movie, in the beginning of the original, he's like running away in the bazaar. I think he has Jasmine with him, and they're kind of running away.
Oh, running from the guards, yeah.
Running from the guards, and there's a moment in the movie.
I'm watching Aladdin after this.
I had to go back and watch it because I was like, there's no way that was an editing mistake in a movie this big. It had to be like a weird audio cut on my end. And there's a moment and this is like my big takeaway moment, and also the villain, the guy looks like an absolute, like, he looks silly.
You're
like,
talking about the original right now, or the...
No, the new one. Sorry.
Okay.
The guy that plays Jafar, I'm sure he's a great actor, but just like the energy was off. It was not right. Like,
keep in mind, I haven't seen this one, but keep going.
He was not believable as the villain, in my opinion, and it was borderline silly. But so anyway, so there's this scene in the bazaar, and it's the song. And I'm blanking on the song name, but there's a moment where they're in, like, the song is in like a slow motion, or sorry, they're like going in slow motion, but the song is also trying to like follow them in pitch. And it's like, why did you guys try and match that? It was just, it was fucking weird. Like,
peculiar choice.
Very peculiar choice. And I couldn't enjoy the rest of the movie because it was all I could think about. It was like, why?
That's funny.
Why would a multi-billion-dollar studio, like, how did that?
It's so funny how sometimes when you miss, you really fucking miss, eh?
Yeah, I don't know. And like, obviously, if you're gonna watch it, or if you're gonna watch the original, I'm not sure.
No, I'm gonna watch the original 100%.
But it's, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's like I said, a movie's a movie, and there was a lot of redeeming things to it for sure. That I did like, but
I forgot about that point about the uncanny valley thing. Like, the thing is that it seemed like they had all this money in the world to spend on VFX and CGI, and they did, and that movie is stellar. I'm talking about Lion King now.
Mm-hmm.
But they were pretty upfront about how do you solve the problem of making an animal that doesn't talk look like it should talk. You got to go the hyper realistic route, and I'm kind of like, do you though? like because that's how they did it, and the whole fucking thing is unsettling. Like, the whole thing, when they're being funny, they're not animated being funny, exaggerated. Like, they look like if cats could talk, and it's fucking weird. Like, it's just weird. Seth Rogen and I forget the new
Billy Eichner.
Yeah. Timon and Pumbaa. They crush. They really do crush.
That's a good duo for those roles.
Yeah, they crush. That was probably the best part of the movie.
But I guess one last thing. The trailer just came out today, or the teaser trailer just came out today. Edgar Wright's new movie, Last Night in Soho. He's doing a whole. It just came out today. It's he's making a horror movie, and it seems to be like timey-wimey, which I didn't expect. So check that out, everyone. It's got my guy Matt Smith, the Doctor. God love it. He needs more roles like this. But check that out, guys. If you're into horror movies, you got to check this out. I think and so this kind of is a good segue from the Disney thing and the problem with the Disney remakes that I have. I don't care that they're making the remakes. It's just, I hate when you have the ability to make original stories and you choose not to.
Yep, 100%.
And, like a studio like Disney, I'm not saying they should be the ones to take the mantle, but, I just wish there's more original stories and new things. And, like, I think thankfully, we are past this, 10-year era of everything getting remade.
Right.
Like, I vividly remember... do you remember the Total Recall remake with Colin Farrell?
Yeah.
I remember seeing that. I remember being like, okay, like, I enjoyed it. I like the original better, obviously, but I remember like coming out of the theater and being like, that looked good. Like, visually, it looked good.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be enough for people.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to be like the next 20 years of our lives. It's just everything's going to get remade. And like, it was like, and there was Old Boy, and there was like, this, and there's like, there's just everything. I'm just happy that we're slowly starting to move away from that. Now we're in the era, it's like big blockbusters again, of like ongoing series and whatnot, Marvel and all that. But it's you see a trailer for like the Last Night in Soho, and you're like, God, like, thank you, like someone is making
give me some real shit,
original. And not like there's a lot of indie movies. I'm not trying to take away from that. There's a lot of original idea indie movies, but like sometimes it's nice to have like a big blockbuster original story.
Put some force behind a punch. Like something that's like new and fresh, and sometimes you don't want to have to go rifling through the bins or looking like you want to find something that's legit that people like, that isn't a rehash of a story that you've already seen told. No, I feel you. Last Night in Soho, I'll check that out.
Check it out.
Cool. I think that's pretty much it for me.
I think so. Yeah, me too.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. This has been the post show. We do it every week. Other than that, we're currently covering My Hero Academia, so feel free to check that out. If not, we'll see you next week.
Later, guys.
Cheers.